just forget about that and play the match against Bosnia. I think that they will allow our supporters club
the drums and everything to get to the stands.
Go to the stadium with their drums.
Okay. Well, let me tell you, just in case by any chance you're not watching that game, 79 minutes of football action is Chile 2, Spain 0. That's it. That's how it stands right now. Let's go on a break. When we come back, we'll still be talking about the 2014 FIFA World Cup. All right, welcome back. 81 minutes played. It looks like Spain, defending champions, looks like they are on their way out of the tournament because this will be the second loss for the Spaniards. But let's come to Nigeria. Let me start with Onye. Is there, any fear in any corner of your heart that, that Nigeria might just, after the second game, be coming home? God forbid, but I don't know if any thought like that has come to your mind.
We'll still play our mandatory 3 games. Even if we lose against Bosnia, we'll still play our mandatory 3 games. But
seriously, are you expecting us to get to the next one?
I'm apprehensive. I'm apprehensive on the strength of what they played against Iran. It didn't inspire any hope. Absolutely. And how do you play for 90 minutes and you do the same thing over and over again? The changes, yes, Osaze came in and brought some life. Yeah. Shola Ameobi, made two shots at goal. But overall, it was not an inspiring. This Iranian team, I mean, even though they are ranked ahead of us, I didn't see anything spectacular about the team.
So let's try and play devil's advocate now. Let's not forget that this team is. This is 19 of them are just appearing at the World Cup for the first time. This is the highest level of football, and there is a possibility that they suffered some form of stage fright. Okay, there's also the issue of the fact that they also had the bonus route that they've also been talking about in the background. It might also have weighed on their psyche.
Maybe
some of those issues affected their play. So let's try and make excuses for them.
Against Greece, we said the same thing, that it was a friendly at the World Cup.
Let me put you on the spot.
Against the US, we said the same thing.
Today, let me put you on the spot. Do you have that fear that this team might just crash out in the first round?
I think it would be foolhardy not to have that kind of fear, considering the fact that our matches up to this point have not been inspiring. The last 4 games that we've played, whether competitive or friendly, have not, they've not exactly lit up the imagination. And you wonder if this team has suddenly reached its peak and is maybe on the way down. That is my worry. I'm also wondering if maybe there might also be the issue that maybe Stephen Keshi has done the best he can.
And his best is not good enough.
And maybe his best is good enough for Africa. If you want to dominate Africa, fine. Yes, you can have it.
But if world dominance is your goal.
Yeah, but if you want to be a major player on the world scene, then, because, the way and manner in which we've gone about steamrolling everybody in Africa, it has been impressive. We haven't lost an African opposition in a long time. Yes. And you start to wonder that maybe we might just have reached our peak with this team. But I think it's a bit too early. You can also argue that Nigeria is a tournament team. The last tournament that we played, we didn't start well. We had 2 draws. But then after those
you used those exact words a few weeks ago.
Exactly. So
what has changed?
What has changed is the fact that this team has failed to improve.
Okay.
Or do I say failed or refused to improve? Okay. They've been given countless chances to improve. They've been given opposition in which they can test their teeth.
Before USA 94,
exactly. But this team hasn't exactly lit up the imagination.
Okay. All right. Earlier we were talking about Uruguay and England, how they were preparing for the World Cup, and let's talk about the matches tomorrow. Today I said, he doesn't believe Uruguay and England is, but
it's as big a game as the Côte d'Ivoire, Colombia.
The fear that teams might just be dropping off. Hopefully, when we come back here tomorrow, we'll not be talking about a Cameroon ouster from the World Cup. But how many African teams do you see surviving the drop? That's what I'm looking. All of them have played now. Hopefully, we will be talking about Cameroon's exit But of course, if they don't win today's game, it's goodbye. So let me start with only, I don't know.
Yeah, it's very dicey.
Some of us said 3. I can't say 3 anymore.
The Algerians lost to Belgium yesterday. You know, maybe after the second game, we'll be able to situate them properly. But as it is now, only the Elephants of Cote d'Ivoire won their game against Japan.
And they supposed
even as hopeless as the Eagles situation appear, they are still better off than America, Ghana, and Algeria, and Cameroon. You know, so let's see what happens after the second game. Then we'll be able to say whether this team will stay or not. But for Australia and Spain, it's over.
As a matter of fact, 86 minutes today. We'll get to Spain later on, but all the African teams have played. Which one of them do you see making it to the second round?
Yeah. It has to be Cote d'Ivoire because they are
have a good chance.
They have a very good chance. They already have a win, and that is the most important. We always constantly talk about how winning your first game is particularly key because it sets the tone for how the competition will progress. You might win the first game and lose your remaining 2 games, but if you win it and have the confidence to go on into your next games, I think 5 points in that group will be enough to take Cote d'Ivoire through. They have, if they play consecutive draws with Colombia, they play and who else is in that group again? Greece. If they play consecutive draws with Colombia and Greece, they will be through. So, of all the African teams, Cote d'Ivoire have the best chance. Algeria, they play their first game. They still have Russia and South Korea to contend with. It is a relatively open group, so there's plenty that can happen there. Cameroon, I think they're drowning. I think there is a matter of time when they go out in the group stage. Nigeria, we have only played 1 game. We are unbeaten, which is a fact. Like Oye said, we are still better off than Cameroon, Ghana, and than Algeria. That counts for something. But our second game will tell us whether we want to stay in this competition or not.
Okay, we'll spend a few minutes left what we have monitoring what's happening between Spain and Chile. But I can tell you that 87 minutes have been played, and it's still 2 goals in favor of Chile. Tule, let me ask, I don't see Spain coming back. I mean, for me, I think it's over, and it means they're going back home. But is it
to play their last game?
Well,
that's a formality.
But football is not like boxing when you are pummeled
and you just throw it into you still have
play the last game.
But Tule, is this an end of is this the end of an era, or was this just a bad day in the office?
2 bad days in the office consecutively? No. I think it is Vincent the boss showing uncharacteristic arrogance and an unwillingness to adapt to the changing times.
To face reality.
The moment Barcelona was beating 7-0 home and away in the Champions League,
okay,
that told you that there was something severely wrong with the tiki-taka formula. And
with what happened at the Confederations Cup, should have left.
It shows you something that football is not static. It continues to evolve. The same kind of systems that we saw in this World Cup are not the ones we saw in the last World Cup or the previous World Cup. Teams will continue to adapt to tactics. The same way some people are creating antiviruses, people are creating viruses. So you must always look for the solutions to problems. And while you are sitting down, venerating and exploiting the virtues of tiki-taka, people are burning the midnight oil on how to break it down. And that is what some people have done. So I think the man was particularly arrogant in the sense that he did not think that he should adapt or reinvent his tiki-taka to still have his core values.
The sign of the times.
To still have his core values, but have other outlets in which add some directness, add something to make it different from what everybody already knows. So I think he's just a victim of his own, his own uncharacteristic obstinacy.
Okay. Onyeuchi, is this the end of an era? I don't know. Is this just
absolutely?
Is this just a blip?
It happens.
Will they bounce back?
It happens all the time. You see, you need to be dynamic. It happened to the French team after they won the France 98 World Cup.
And they didn't lose again going to 2002.
Absolutely, they kept faith with the team. Got shocked by the Senegal of. It happened after the Italian team won the World Cup in 2006.
We saw them in 2010.
Crashed out in the first round.
You don't need to be arrogant. You don't need to believe that I've arrived because I won the World Cup. I will just strolling and win it. You need to change. And the last season offered him that opportunity, but he failed to use the opportunity. Look at what Van Gaal has done with the Dutch team. They got to the final the last time. Only about 4 players made the present team. So what it shows is that he has brought in players who are, hungrier for success, and that is the way to go. These guys have won everything. If they crash out this time, it won't make any
motivation is just not there.
After they have won everything there is to win on earth. So I think perhaps the man even need to throw in the towel.
But it doesn't change anything.
Doesn't really change anything.
They are still regarded,
And they will have their place in history.
Yeah, they're still regarded as the best Spanish team ever.
Okay, we're on the home stretch, a minute or two. What do our African brothers, let me start with Tony, what do they need to do? Surely we don't want to see an African team go home so early. So against Croatia, it's scary. You have told us about some of the players that will likely play, but what do they need to do different?
All I can say is they should park the bus and hope for the best. Because if you look at the Croatian team that stifled Brazil for long periods of that game, who played with the 34-year-old Ivica Olic against a 27-year-old Mario Mandzukic, and a Mateo Kovacic, who is one of the most talented youngsters in his age bracket, who didn't really get going against Brazil, but to have more time and space against Cameroon, you struggle to see where the Africans are going.
There's no reason for optimism.
But Cameroon have one thing on their side: they can kick you off the pitch, and if they manage to break the rhythm of the Croatians, kick them. They're a very physical team. That's the Cameroonians. If they just continue to get in their face, shut them down, try and commit sensible fouls. You will foul them in sensible areas of the pitch and at sensible times in order to break their rhythm. If they do that, they can possibly get a result. The best they can hope for is a draw. A win in this game, I think, is beyond the Cameroonians.
Okay, your parting shots, advice for the Indomitable Lions.
Well, I think they should just forget about this World Cup, and
that sounds cruel.
Send some of the players who have turned the team into their private property, send them away, build a new team for the World Cup, maybe starting from the 2015 Nations Cup in Morocco. But if they continue this way, they will still have the same issues, because these players feel that they are doing the country, it's a privilege. They are doing the country, an honor by playing.
They are already bigger than the team,
and you need to play for the national team from your heart. You need to play from your heart, and not every time you put your interest first. So I for the Cameroonians, maybe this is the end of an era for them.
Well, as I wrap things up on the show tonight, we do hope that you've enjoyed what we'll be able to bring to you tonight, and we hope that when we come back here tomorrow, we'll not be talking about an African team bowing out of the competition. Enjoy the rest of your night. We'll see you again tomorrow.
México, México, México.